Hello, my new friends. I'm Rev Carla McClellan. I'm a Unity Minister and very proud of the fact I'm a Unity Minister and also a life coach. And that has really added to my sense of purpose in life because I don't just want to talk at you. I want to relate with you. I want to get on the playing field with you in life and support you bringing forth your best. I promise that I have set the intention to see past the appearances to the truth, the light, who you truly are. Picasso said the meaning of life is to find your purpose. The purpose of life is to give it away. I love that. The purpose of life is to give it away. I don't know if any of you have read the Gospel of Thomas, but there's a wonderful mystical saying in Thomas. It's saying number 70 that says that if you're bringing forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. This quote emphasizes the importance of self-discovery, self-awareness, self-knowledge, and the divine spark we have within us for salvation. We have two voices running around in our head. We have the voice of wisdom and the voice of the monkey mind that tries to keep us safe and limited in the masks that we wear. You know, I'm a good friend of Reverend Becky's, and I must share with you the first time that she introduced me to her congregation, she said this: Reverend Carla is the spawn of Unity ministers. And I just roared laughing, as so did members of the congregation. And I thought, how appropriate that this spawn speaks to you right before Halloween. And we're talking about masks, masks that hide who we truly are. Masks are fun to play different roles. But when we want to be authentic and fully present and guided by divine wisdom, we must let go of who we pretend to be. We must let go of who we're afraid we are and come from that Christ essence, that part of us that was never born and will never die. My mother called it the ineffable one, the unchanging part of us. It is so easy in this world today to get distracted by what's going on in the outer. My goodness, it almost takes my breath away to think that we've come to such a place in life where there is so much destruction. I guess generations have said that forever, but this is my personal time to truly take it in, to feel the horror of people being bombed, the horror of watching your children die, the horror of your homes being lost. So, what is mine to do? What is yours to do? Well, I think together we can affirm, I behold the Christ in myself and in all beings. I see beyond appearances to the truth of who we are truly. I see beyond appearances. That creates quite a leap of faith, doesn't it? Or at least it does for me, to see beyond the appearance of hate, of lies, of bombs, to know that these are just misguided calls for love. Can I see past the appearance to the truth that we are all beings of light, and that we all yearn to be loved, to be seen, and to be heard. So this is our season of masks. Everywhere we turn, there are costumes, ghosts, witches, superheroes, princesses, all the playful disguises of Halloween. It is fun to step into another role for a night. That's what dreaming's all about. It's to get to that place where we feel most alive, where we feel most like ourselves. And if it takes a little fantasy, so be it. So for a night to pretend to be something different is just fine. In fact, when we're pretending to be something different, we're expanding our consciousness. We're not coming from the limited linear mind. We're coming from something broader and more inviting. It's where we can reach our discernment on what's my purpose, what's my next step, who am I being called to be in this moment. I know that keeps me pretty busy asking myself those questions, and I don't always live up to what I wish I answer, but it is something that I strive for every day. I ask myself, Carla, who are you willing to be in order to produce something extraordinary out of this day? I started doing this as I moved through my grief of my daughter dying at 27. I totally lost my identity, as you can well imagine. I was no longer mother. I was no longer a caregiver. I was no longer a support. I was no longer a friend to her. We couldn't have adventures, I thought, on the physical plane anymore. And as I began that journey of healing, I got to the point, and it took some time, of realizing that I was living a sad life. I saw an advertisement in Contact magazine, a Unity magazine for ministers, and it was just for ministers and spiritual leaders. And the workshop was, would it be okay with you if life got easier? Wow, what a no-brainer. I said yes and signed up immediately. This was about a year and a half since from my daughter passing. And I was minister of a church and looked very forward to feeling more whole in myself. I felt this deep, deep hole inside of me. And I wondered, how now will I fill that? Because I know Paula wouldn't have wanted me to live a sad life. And I have to be inspired in order to fill that hole. So I went to this workshop that was over a weekend in California. And then one of the first exercises we did was to divide up into groups of 4. I kid you not, when we went around our group and shared what brought us to this workshop, I shared, well, recently, within the last year, my 27-year-old daughter died. She had spina bifida. And the woman across from me said, I came because my 27-year-old son died recently, and he had spina bifida. Was it a divine appointment? I don't know how else to look at it than to know I'm constantly being supported with that which I need, that which awakens me to a deeper understanding of who I am, whose I am, and what my purpose is in life. So that began my journey as a coach. And I loved being both. I loved being minister. And then if somebody wanted me to be coach, I explained to them what coach did was keep you accountable to your dreams. And what stops your dreams are the masks you pretend you are and the shadow you're afraid to face. So it takes a lot of courage to step beyond the mask and live from a purpose, a place of purposeful meaning, a place where you know you were born to do this. So Jesus and Paul both.
Reverend Carla? Reverend Carla? Oh, you muted yourself accidentally, I think.
I did. I apologize. I was so carried away with
Thank
what I
you.
was saying.
Great.
Uh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Technology.
sorry. Yes, can you go back to Jesus and Paul?
Yes,
That,
I certainly
thank you.
can. Don't you just love learning new things about yourself? So Jesus said, "Do not judge by appearances, but judge with right judgment." In John 7, verse 24. And Paul said, "Now we see in a mirror dimly, but then we will see face to face." 1 Corinthians 13:12. For truly, we're on one journey. It is a spiritual journey. We are spiritual beings filled with light, here to love, and to get past that chattering monkey mind of ours, to open the box that we have kept ourselves in because we needed to, because that kept us safe when we were younger. But opening the box is always a good idea to check the date that you decided that mask was for you. Masks are not just for Halloween, they're part of our human development. As children, we put on costumes to explore, to discover who we might become. In much the same way as adults, we wear emotional and social masks to help us navigate the world. There's a part of our brain that needs to feel safe, and masks have created the persona for us to move through the world feeling more safe. We want to have behaviors that people approve of, and we begin to hide parts of ourselves that feel too vulnerable or too different. Carl Jung called this the persona, the social face that we present to the world. It's not false, it's just incomplete. The problem arises when we forget that the mask is in us, when we begin to believe the roles we play, minister, parent, professional, caregiver, musician, are our identity. We lose connection with our authentic being. Our dreams begin to die. And the divine spark that existed long before any role or label has trouble getting through to us. As a wise teacher once said, the mask protects us until we're strong enough to live without it. Our spiritual work is not to destroy the mask, but to grow strong enough in truth that we no longer need to hide from it. I think that's why as we get older, we we can see the turns we've taken in life and the gifts that we were given when we couldn't really understand why something was happening. When you look in a mirror, what do you see? Do you see the radiant Christ of your being? Do you see the roles you play, the mistakes you've made, the expectations you're trying to meet? I love this definition of resentment. Resentment is the result of unmet expectations. We don't share what our expectation is, but we resent when we don't get it. When we look with spiritual eyes, we begin to see that beneath the surface to the living presence that we are, prayer, meditation, and silence are the tools that lift us, lift the veil, and remember our essence. In the stillness, the noise of the world fades. The outer layers of personality fall away. What remains is what we long for: peace, the eternal I am that is never wounded, never broken, never lost, always within us. We can never be separate from that I am. So today, I invite you to breathe deeply and affirm, I release the need to pretend. Together, I release the need to pretend. I rest in the truth of my authentic being. When we do this, something beautiful happens. We stop striving to be enough and instead begin to remember that we already are enough. We let go of comparison, self-judgment, and the exhausting need to perform. And we begin to live from a deeper center, one grounded in love. So, how then do we see beneath the mask of ourselves? We begin by allowing the mask to be there, to say, it's okay, thank you. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for making me feel safe. I'm willing to step beyond this box, this mask, into something greater. And we allow the mask, as in the meditation, to just dissolve. We don't make it wrong. We don't make us wrong. We know what Jesus knew when he walked the earth, that everybody's doing the best they can in the moment. And we all need each other, that connection, to remind each other that we are one in the love, in the light, in the truth of God. So how do we see beneath the mask of others? Well, we all know people who wear masks, and boy, isn't it easier to pick out other people's masks than ours. We know those that wear the angry mask, the aloof mask, the I'm so brilliant mask, the I'm more spiritual than my church mask. When we learn to see with the eyes of Christ consciousness, we look beyond the behavior and see the hurting or holy heart beneath it. This is what Jesus did. He saw beyond illness, fear, and sin, seeing only the light of God within. When you encounter someone challenging, silently affirm, I behold the Christ in you. It's so powerful. It resonates throughout your body, so you change yourself, and it resonates out towards the other person. You don't have to say anything, but they feel the shift. To live unmasked takes a lot of courage. It means showing up as your authentic self, not the perfect self, but the real self. It doesn't mean spiritually bypassing what's going on in your life. It means allowing what's going on in your life to go on, but to know there's something more to be learned or to be seen or to be experienced. It means to be completely vulnerable. It means not to resist. How many times I travel throughout the country working with churches in transition. And guess what? The number one experience I run into is conflict. Conflict, people fighting to either keep things the same or fighting to make them what they really want or fighting to make them something different. We can never go back to what it was. But the good news is, together, I mean all of us together, can listen to one another's dreams, can courageously step outside of our box, and to allow the divine wisdom, the light that dwells in each one of us, to flame up and to come up with new solutions. I know there are new solutions. I just don't know what they are yet. But I know together we will be guided and we will be shown. To live unmasked is to say, here I am, Lord, use me. Now, there's another side to this message. We're not only called to see beyond the masks, we're called to live beyond the masks ourselves. That means showing up, not being perfect, but being real. How many times when somebody asks you, well, how are you? Do you say fine? I recently went through a major operation. And, I knew the expectation of people when they said, well, how are you doing? Are you feeling better? That in my mind, I should heal quickly. It should be easy for me to go through this. And it hasn't. But that doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. It simply means I have to go deeper within myself to see how to completely help my body heal so I can keep doing the work I so long to do. Authenticity is not a weakness. It's the courage to be transparent, to be genuine, to be honest about where we are on the journey. To live unmasked is to say, here I am, God. Use me as I am. Here I am, flawed and beautiful, learning and growing, whole and holy. So as we move through this season of costumes and disguises, let's remember the deeper invitation to see through the masks of our own and others, to behold the truth that cannot be hidden. Because when we see with the eyes of spirit, every face becomes the face of God, and every moment becomes a holy encounter. So, my dear friends, I hope that you have felt, seen, and heard, and I hope this has been a holy encounter for you. For even though I can't see your faces, I know I'm in the presence of God. Thank you so much. Bless you all.